one review. Altered Carbon. Altered Carbon is based on a book by a British writer. Yeah. It's a Netflix original, and popped up on the 1st of February, I believe. So it's been out for about a week. It is very sort of Blade Runner, Minority Report esque, set in the far future. I think about 2300. You were saying
2134, and then flashes forward 250 years in the future.
The main character is actually an Asian character, but in the 2300 time span, he's actually being played by, is it Joel Kinnaman? You said his
Joel
name
Kinnaman from Suicide Squad and RoboCop and the American version of The Killing.
And he has been re-sleeved.
So basically, in the future, you've said this already once. That's why you're getting.
I've forgotten what I've said and what I haven't.
Every human has a cortical stack which stores your memories and things like that. It's sort of like your personal life sort of thing. And you carry this with you, and it can be extracted after your death as long as it's not damaged while you're being shot in the head. And then these stacks can then be put in sort of blank human bodies called sleeves. Like they're like disposable vessels. And Kovac is the main character, is re-sleeved. Yeah. Wakes up in Alcatraz alongside lots of prisoners and things. That was
a nice touch.
A lot of prisoners, I believe, are being used as sleeves for people who've lost people. Like you see, there's this couple who've lost their daughter in an accident and find that she's been re-sleeved into the body of this old woman, which is quite a nice touch.
And basically, he's been sort of awakened and given this information by British actor James Purfoy, who's playing.
Well, he gets put into the care of the Bancroft estate, and which gets driven there by who he thinks is a chauffeur, but it turns out to be like a cop who's always on his back, Constable Ortega. He finally arrives at the Bancroft house. James Purfoy says, I'll give you a full pardon because he's committed all these crimes.
He gives him a lot. I mean, he offers him basically money,
everything,
prizes, everything.
Because he's been murdered. He thinks he's been murdered. He died and was re-sleeved into the body of James Purfoy, and says my cortical stack was sort of deployed. It wasn't active for 20 minutes before my death. So I don't know what happened. Can you find out for me?
When I say that this takes heavily from Blade Runner, I'm not kidding. I mean, I think some of the backgrounds literally are kind of like almost ripped straight from the original. And, with it being set in the far future, you've obviously got a lot of technology, a lot of explaining. And I think for me, I got a little bit lost in the kind of the mansplaining of what was going on.
Oh, the woman-splaining as well.
Yeah.
It was very exposition heavy, I would agree.
A couple of people who have persevered have said that actually it gets better, that once you get past the explaining of everything that's going on, that actually the plot does begin to reveal, and it's a decent kind of murder mystery, with good protagonists and stuff like that. My other main problem was that the main actor, Joel Kinnaman, is a bit, and I know this is going to sound weird, he's a bit robotic.
No,
and I know that's
weird
I agree. Because he's kind of playing a robot type. He's playing he's very militarized.
Well, his character is a soldier who was trying to battle against the uprising in the 2100s. Yeah, and they were unsuccessful.
They feel like an awful lot needs to be explained in the first show, whereas I think probably what would have been better was to maybe kind of, I don't know, maybe just do a bit. I mean, I think the opening prologue wasn't good. Although it gave you that explanation of what
it was very,
I didn't like it.
Reminded me of what's that? What was it called? Legion, the X-Men thing. That was very on and off, and you weren't quite sure where you were. And as you say, there's a lot of concepts to explain, and the sleeving and the thing, and then, as you say, it almost turns into a murder mystery, and I think that is it was almost a waste of the concept, that it feels like it's a very base story. It's a very sort of traditional story wrapped up in all of this future world with all of these rules and things like that.
The problem that sometimes happens in science fiction is they try and out-clever themselves. You try and create things that sort of explain things or make things easy, whereas actually just tell the story. Just be more simplistic in what you want to do. And I worry that there is a good story here. As I said, I've spoken to a few, or been in contact with a few people that have said, yeah, there's something here. I don't know that I'll get beyond this. I don't feel the need to watch the next episode. I really don't. Where do you stand?
But it's not my kind of thing to begin with, and I do struggle, not struggle with sci-fi, but I do, like, it has to be something sort of good for me to be involved in, like, say, the first series is Humans, or something like Utopia, which does more fantasy than sci-fi. The lead wasn't very engaging. The story felt very traditional. There was a lot of exposition. I liked the thing about the AI hotel. That was quite interesting. That was a bit of comedy. And as I say, I like the stuff about the government re-sleeving murder. You know, you get like a free re-sleeving if your loved one dies, but you don't get to choose the vessel.
But it
you
just
get
does
given...
feel like a lot of ideas being thrown at it.
Yeah.
My problem is I'm sort of watching Star Trek Discovery at the moment, and I feel like maybe I might come back to this once that's finished.
How did that work out with American Gods?
Yeah, see, that's another one I want to go back to, you see, so damn. I think if you are looking for something science fiction wise, I'd be more tempted to say dip into Star Trek Discovery. I think it's better, but I might come back to this. Doesn't sound like it's, as you say, not up your alley, is it really? So thank you for watching it and indulging us with your views, though.